Hey everyone, this is Beth Bond with Full of Useless Information, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia, very late on a Saturday night. As you're coming in, I would love to hear from you. Just give me a shout out on the thing, or as we move forward, and if what I'm saying resonates with you, I'd love to see some hearts so I know that the content I'm providing is something that's useful. I'm very unusual. It's past 11:30 right now in Atlanta, which means that everyone on the East Coast, normal people, are in bed or out having fun. And I've just returned from something fun, and instead of sitting down and writing a blog post about it, I thought, I'll save myself some time and I'll do it on Periscope. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Beth Bond. I am curator of Sustainable News. Hey Gigi, thanks for joining. Of Southeast Green. Southeast Green is the largest online news site for sustainable business and environmental policy news in the Southeast U.S. We cover from Florida to Texas to Virginia and Maryland. Based here in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually live in one of the little towns around it called Decatur, Georgia. And I've just gotten back from the MountainFilm tour, the Telluride MountainFilm Tour ATL. For anybody into rap, hey, from anyone into rap, they would know that's sort of the nickname for Atlanta because that's the designation of the airport, ATL. So anyway, so that is the name of the thing, MountainFilm on Tour ATL. And if you haven't had a chance to get involved or see MountainFilm, I really, really highly recommend it. It started in Telluride. I don't know. It's 30 years old or something like that, and what they do is they it's a film festival that picks environmental films, and some of them are environmental films that talk about sort of sustainability and environmental policy, and then some are just what they call mountain porn, which I love. Who doesn't love mountain porn, right? There's food porn and mountain porn, which are just, these really fun, exciting videos where they're taking people down mountains, and, one of the videos tonight was about a guy up in Patagonia with his dog, and he would just ski off the mountain and the dog would just chase him down the mountain. I mean, who doesn't love that story, right? So very, very fun, and so check it out. If you don't get an opportunity to see the actual film festival, I mean, there's something great about seeing the films, in a festival environment, but if you don't get a chance, you can check out their website and just Google MountainFilm, and there's all kinds of places that you can find films. And this is the third year in a row they've had it in Atlanta, and there's a couple of films I want to talk about that I just think are very compelling. So one of them was an American guy who had hooked up with some other guys in Brazil who are actually teaching kids in the biggest slum in Brazil how to rock climb and how to reach mountain summits. My address is www.southeastgreen.com, and I post, by the way, all my scopes on Southeast Green because it's easier to talk than type. And I always tell people I'm from Alabama, and English is my second language, so if you're a Southerner, you'll understand that. And so one of the reasons I love periscoping is because it's very easy for Southerners to just sit here and talk. So, and we'd love to have people join us. Anyway, so back to the story about this Brazilian film. All the films are short films. They're all under 20 minutes, so you get to see a string of about 8 films on any given night. And, the story of that nature can connect with children all over the world, regardless of what language you speak, in a way that's meaningful and that can lift children out of whatever their conditions is a really sort of exciting kind of thing to consider. So that was one of my favorite ones. Unfortunately, I do not remember the name of that video, which is important. You can actually go to MountainFilmatl.org, and you can see all the films that are played. But the one that really compelled me to come home tonight and talk about this on Periscope there was a film called Knee Deep. And Knee Deep is about these group of young 30, 20-somethings in Boulder who got together, and after the floods happened in 2013, basically organized through Facebook and went out and started helping people. And, a lot of times I think it's easier as we get older to think, oh, the world is going to, to hell in a handbasket, excuse my French. But, the thing that I thought, the message that was so exciting about this film is that these younger generations, these millennials, just said, okay, we're going to do something. We're not going to be bogged down. We're not going to wait for the nonprofits who've got liability issues and insurance issues. We're just going to go out and we're going to start digging. And out of that digging came the film, which is called Knee Deep. And the group they actually dubbed themselves and organized around was called Mudslingers. And what they did was, there were really, really bad floods in the Boulder area in 2013. They had a fire, and then they had a really bad rain, and they caused all these floods. And all these little mountain villages west of Boulder, up in the mountains, got cut off. The roads got cut off. And so it started out with like a group of 2, grew to 10, and by the end of the 3 months that they were in existence, they had over 1,000 people who would just hike into these little mountain towns where even public services were having a challenge getting on there, and they would take shovels and bring their own buckets, really big buckets, and they would go in and dig people out. I mean, people's houses were full of mud, and they had, and people couldn't get to them, and there needed to be an immediate response. So, anyways, I really encourage y'all to check out Knee Deep, because it's a story of hope. And I think this is one of my pet peeves about environmental movies, and this is what Telluride MountainFilm does a very good job of not doing, is that the movies can be too negative and that there's no hope. And I think what Telluride does is they're willing to show the negative, but they're also willing to show the joy and the thrill and the exhilaration of being out in nature. And they're also willing to show the stories of hope. That, here was this tragedy of people being flooded out of their homes, and people could not get there to help them dig out. And yet, out of that tragedy rose people who'd never volunteered before, who, maybe not have admitted it, but, were sort of into themselves and not thinking about helping others, and they just went and helped others. And I think that's really one of the best things about sustainability is you've got tons and tons of people who are saying, I want to be part of a greater community to sort of fix what we've been doing wrong for a long time. And that's why I love being in the sustainability community, because it's all about people working towards solutions and finding other things. So for those of you who got on late and didn't find out who I am, my name is Beth Bond. I am curator of sustainable news at Southeast Green. We are the largest online news site in the Southeast. We cover sustainable business and environmental policy news, and we try to do a little bit of fun too. And for those of you who want to visit the site, www.southeastgreen.com, I am very active on Twitter. I go to events and I tweet live. So I'll be at Expo East tweeting live about Expo East. It'll be 2 days of tweets. So I'm just telling you, if you follow me, be prepared for days where there's just full of tweets. I've got an energy efficiency conference coming up that I'll be covering. And if sustainability is your thing, then I hope you'll consider following and sharing my scopes. Thanks so much. Have a good evening. All right.